Hello, my name is Sarah Riemer and I'm the Education Programs Manager at the Bell Museum. We're back to read you another story. This is a very special winter solstice story. It's called Moonbear's Shadow, and it's written and illustrated by Frank Ash and published by Simon and Schuster. All right, so Moonbear's Shadow. Shadow right there. One day, Bear went down to the pond with his fishing pole and a big can of worms. While he was putting a worm on his hook, he looked down and saw a big fish. "I'm gonna catch that fish," thought Bear to himself. But when Bear stood up to throw his line in the water, his shadow scared the big fish away. "Go away, Shadow," cried Bear. But Bear's shadow would not go away. "Okay," said Bear, "if you won't go on your own, then I'll just have to get rid of you." And he put down his fishing pole and began to run. He ran around the pond. When he got to the other side, he kept on running. He ran through a field of flowers, jumped over the brook, and hid behind a tree. "Good," thought Bear. "Now my shadow can't find me." But Bear was wrong. When he stepped out from behind the tree, the first thing he saw was Shadow. Nearby was a cliff. Bear walked over to the cliff and looked up. "I'll climb so high, Shadow won't be able to follow me," thought Bear. Bear climbed higher and higher until at last he pulled himself up to the top. Huffing and puffing, he smiled with pride. And then he looked down and saw Shadow. Now, Bear was very annoyed. So he went home and got a hammer and some nails to nail his shadow to the ground. He hammered and hammered and hammered, but no matter how many nails he hammered, he couldn't nail his shadow down. Bear's getting very frustrated. "If I can't nail him down," thought Bear, "maybe I can bury him." So he got his shovel and dug a hole. When the hole was deep and wide, he let his shadow fall into the hole. But then Bear filled the hole with dirt. When he was finished, it was almost noon. The sun was high in the sky and Shadow was nowhere to be seen. "At last," sighed Bear. "No more Shadow." But now Bear was very tired. So he went inside and took a little nap. When he slept, time passed, and the sun once again cast shadows everywhere. When Bear got up and opened his door, he saw his shadow on the floor. "Not you again," exclaimed Bear, and he slammed the door, hoping to lock Shadow inside, but Shadow was too quick. Sighed Bear. "How about this? If you let me catch a fish, I'll let you catch one too. Nod your head like this if it's a deal." When Bear nodded his head, Shadow nodded too. So Bear went back to the pond and once again threw his line in the water. By this time, the sun was in a different part of the sky, which made it easy for Shadow to keep his part of the deal. And when Bear caught that big fish, Shadow caught one too. All right, at the beginning of our story, I said it was a very special winter solstice story because we're going to talk about shadows and how they look different on winter solstice and summer solstice in just a minute. So in our story, we talked about how Bear's shadow looks different in different times of day. It also looks different in different times of the year. So you can experiment if you have a couple of things around your house. All you need is a table. You can have a mat on there if you would like, or even a piece of paper would work. A couple of objects. I have the tree and the little bear from our story, and a flashlight. And my flashlight looks like the sun. So we're going to pretend that my flashlight is the sun, and we're going to turn it on and we're going to shine it on Bear and see if we can see Bear's shadow. You can even put Bear by the pond, and the shadow can be in the pond scaring away the fish, like what happened in the beginning of our story. And one thing that happened with Bear when Bear's shadow disappeared is it was noon, right? Probably on a summer day, so the sun was directly overhead. Can you see Bear's shadow anywhere there? Might be able to see a little bit directly underneath Bear, but not very much. So in summer solstice, the sun is directly overhead like this at noon. But in winter solstice, our sun doesn't go all the way up to the top of our sky. It kind of hangs out over by the horizon, so a little bit lower. So if you're out at noon on winter solstice, you'll be able to see your longest shadow any day of the year. So you could go out and even mark how big it is. And you'll see it'll be extra long. And as our days get longer, the sun goes further up into the sky, so then we get a smaller and smaller shadow. So you can also, when you're experimenting with this, you can kind of see what it'll look like different times of day, and maybe when the sun sets, and you can't see as many shadows, and when the sun rises, it's going to rise from the other side and create a shadow over there.